Witam serdecznie book targu branżowego oraz wydarzeń book targowych tej edycji. Witam na spotkaniu dotyczącym tego, w jaki sposób sztuczna inteligencja może usprawniać biznes wydawniczy, w jaki sposób może pomagać wydawnictwom podnosić rentowność ich biznesów. Są z nami Tony i Linda ze Scriptbakery. To jest niemiecka firma zajmująca się sztuczną inteligencją właśnie w kontekście biznesu wydawniczego. Ponieważ Tony i Linda nie mówią dobrze po polsku, przygotowaliśmy prezentację wcześniej dla Państwa po to, żeby oszczędzić czas potrzebny na tłumaczenie w trakcie spotkania na żywo, czyli żeby w jak najkrótszym czasie przekazać Państwu jak najwięcej informacji po polsku. Tony i Linda nagrali swoją prezentację, my przygotowaliśmy tłumaczenie i napisy, więc mogą Państwo, za chwilę Państwo będą mogli oglądać tą prezentację i czytać polskie napisy i zadawać naszym prelegentom pytania. Można je wpisywać w komentarzach pod playerem na YouTubie i na Facebooku i na wszystkie te pytania nasi goście odpowiedzą zaraz po prezentacji. Także serdecznie zapraszam i widzimy się i słyszymy na żywo już za mniej więcej 40 minut, bo tyle trwa prezentacja. Tony, Linda, I will just let you know that you've been introduced, and now we will start with the pre-recorded presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Linda Ernie and Tony Fonsky from Scriptbakery AI, and we want to thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about artificial intelligence today. Unfortunately, our Polish isn't so good, so we hold the presentation in English. And let's start right away. I'll first give you a short insight to artificial intelligence, especially its economic and technical potential. After that, I will highlight some of the creative application, especially my colleague Linda will go a little bit deeper into detail on our field of application of AI, and we'll tell you a little bit about our story. After that, we will frame a session with a few things you should consider when you think about using AI in your company. And here we would like to clarify the question whether AI is really a great chance or a hype, and what kind of application you, especially in the creative industries, can use. So 3 words before I start about me. My name is Tony Fonsky. I'm the CTO and the Chief Developer of Scriptbakery AI, and I'm a computer linguist. I studied philosophy and among other things, and my focus is on the development of AI-based computational models, technology assessment, and data analysis. So let's start. First of all, when you think about artificial intelligence, what are you thinking about? Maybe you think about movies like Space Odyssey 2001 and the HAL 9000, which doesn't want to let Dave back into the Discovery. Maybe you think about Deep Blue, which was the first computer that defeats the world chess champion Garry Kasparov in 1996. Or you are thinking about Watson. It was the first AI which beat a human opponents in 2006 in Jeopardy. Or you think about popular culture like Matrix. I guess mostly everybody of you knows this screen. There are also some newer movies about AI like iRobot, as well as very old series. If you spent your childhood in the 80s, you may remember Kid and Michael Knight. And if you are saying all this popular culture stuff isn't the right thing for me, maybe just maybe you've used a spell checker in your office software, which probably helps you to correct your presentations. Maybe you also use your smartphone and type some messages with this gadget. How is it called? Right, autocomplete. Yeah, or maybe you don't do your housework anymore. Likewise, you have one of these robotic vacuum cleaners. This is stuff we can say about artificial intelligence. This nearly in all spaces of daily life. Maybe you've smartified your home with one of these pillars, or if you don't are into this tech stuff, you already Googled something in the internet, or maybe you are planning to become a customer of us, or you do your shopping business via Amazon, or even if you're sitting in the evening and want to watch a series to relax, it's almost nowhere you pass by artificial intelligence. So what is the point about all that? Well, one thing is that there's a financial aspect of artificial intelligence. If you look at some headlines of newspapers, you see a really clear trend. By 2030, almost approximately 70% of all the companies will implement some kind of artificial intelligence. Additional to the global sales will grow up to around 30 trillion, according to McKinsey, or 50 trillion US dollar in AI business. Also, the AI market will grow by the factor of 5, up to 10 billion euros in 2022, according to an ITO study. But there are also some shadow sides. I guess every fifth job will encouraged by automation, according to the OECD. And yeah, also there's some according to a study done by Lufthansa this year, companies which have implemented AI technology have a measurable result in the first 3 months. It's about 70% of the asked companies. This growth depends heavily on this enormous growth of global data sets and global data quantities, and that AI is trusted to handle this. Especially in the content area, the growth is gigantic, and keeping track this growth in the market advantage, that should be not underestimated. So let me give you a short insight to all these data, so you get an idea. I will sing a minute. While I'm talking here, about 41 million WhatsApp messages are sent, 500 hours of YouTube videos have been uploaded, and you are one of the lucky 208,000 participants in Zoom meetings, and these are the data per minute. All in all, the standard data quantity is about 2.5 exabyte per day, and 40% of these data are social media data, like content. So how can you imagine 2.5 exabyte? Eric Schmidt is said to have said that we create amount of information in 2 days, which is comparable to all informations mankind created until 2003. I'm not sure if he's right with this comparison. So let me show you this in another way. Usually I use things like football calls or bath tubes or stuff, but that won't work in this case. So as you all work in a publishing related jobs, you may know standard pages. In Germany, it's in page with 1,500 strokes. I guess in Poland it's about 1,800 strokes. So 2.8 exabyte into standard pages. You will get informations that are created per day, and if you print them on paper, will have about 1.3 quadrillion pages. And if you put all these pages top on each other, it would be 166 million high, a million kilometer high stack of paper. Yeah, that would be a huge football core. In other words, this is the distance from here to the sun, or about 9.2 light minutes. So, in other words, only if you want to pass all these data created daily with the highest speed possible in the universe, this would take about 9 minutes. And to top this, at the moment, one assumes that the quantity doubles every year. So in 2018, we had a data quantity on about 33 zettabyte per year, and one expect in 2025 about 175 zettabyte. This is about 525 million times the whole Netflix database. No way to imagine this. So, has AI really have the potential to handle these dimensions? So, let me give you some other examples. You all know games like checker, chess, mill, tic-tac-toe, right? Compare these games on a mathematical way. You can take the legal positions in the games. Tic-tac-toe has likewise a small amount of game proceedings with about 250,000 legal positions. This is something you can calculate quite on a normal Tuesday. Or take mill. Mill is solved mathematically since 1990. That means it doesn't matter how well you will play, you can only achieve a draw. You can store all these relevant informations on mill on 1.8 to the power of 10 on a USB stick like under 20 gigabyte. If you look at checker or chess, you can also see a difference, as well as chess since 2006, the last great tournament of Vladimir Kramnik against Deep Fritz. No human player won against a chess computer since then. Yeah, but let me give you another example. Maybe you know Go. It's Chinese strategy game, and it's quite even bigger than chess in their legal positions. Maybe you know Go, and that's quite amazing. The amount of legal positions lies about 2 multiplied with 10 to the power of 170. Okay, to the power of 170. How is it possible to have an idea of such a huge number? Okay, you may know the quantity of all atoms in the observable universe. It lies about 10 to the power of 78. So if you take every single atom and put another whole universe on it, you come to a ridiculous number of 10 to the power of 156. This brings you just an immensity of the count of legal positions of Go. So this is a number no device in the world can store, but is it possible to handle such a big number via AI? Sure, it is. It costs about 3 days of training for the AlphaGo AI, and after that it beats the most famous Go masters in the world. So you can see AI is really highly potential. But one step back, you may ask now, artificial intelligence, what does it mean? And how can I use it in my business? So first of all, I will ask an expert on AI, what is AI?
Artificial intelligence, AI, is intelligence demonstrated by machines, unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals.
What is intelligence? As lots of words, its origin lies in a Latin word. It's intellego, from interlegere, interlego, read off or read between, take together, collect, something like that. The important things are human tasks and reading of non-obvious connections. So this is what artificial intelligence, or a good definition of artificial intelligence, is. And you need several things. You need data and metadata to realize an AI project. You need performance, you need software structure, and you need, human tasks. I want to talk about two aspects, although I would really enjoy to talk about the history of algorithmic. I'll focus on metadata, since I already talked about data, and I will also focus on human tasks. Metadata is quite interesting. Metadata supplies context to data, and this is quite important because context is sometimes the only thing that can stay between an after conference string and a binge. Also, not every metadata is important for every situation, depending on your target group or your intent of use. And especially metadata helps us in confusing or very complex situations or use cases to provide direction or orientation. And this is something which can give you a significant market advantage. And as well, content industry is such a complex field because it's it is in a very disruptive phase. For example, because of new cross-medial contents coming into being, and traditional borders between formats and genres are blurring. For example, an ebook format doesn't even have a page count. Reader needs are nowadays implemented on a new metadata point in the central book catalog in Germany, and I would also like to mention several efforts to establish a unique identifier for authors, like an author ISBN. So think it out, think this out dynamically. Like if you can embed things like relationships between video series, books, and podcasts, or link different different other products or social discourses or stuff like that. That would be quite nice. But also think about not to generate more and more artificial data sets. It's even doesn't work if your metadata for a single book is more extensive than the book itself. Well, after talking about data and metadata, I would like to guide you through various fields of applications of artificial intelligence. As I said, artificial intelligence are non-human solution strategies for human problem fields. So what is typically human? In most cases, you can say things like to Earth, very human, games, art, music, movies. Well, publishing is also a human activity. So let me quick go through. First of all, to Earth. That is something human and machines have in common. I don't know if you have tested one of the reverse vending machines or butelkomats in Poland. I guess some of them were set up for a few months in Krakow in 2019. In Germany, they're really common, and if you have to use them regularly, you will see and you will know how often machines can make mistakes. So making mistakes for machines, no problem. Next point, games. I guess I already told you, so I will skip that. What about art? Art is quite nice. There you can see a work of Rembrandt, but of course it's not an original Rembrandt. It's an Rembrandt which was created in 2016 from an AI project from scratch. So it's a completely new Rembrandt you've never seen before. It's quite a nice use case. What about music? It's, I guess, the same. Let me show you or listen to some moments of music created by machine. Yeah, and also it's the same stuff with movies. Watson, I mentioned in the early beginning of this presentation, it was the AI system which won Jeopardy the first time, cuts a movie trailer in 2016, I guess, for the film, for the movie Morgan. Yeah, so maybe you can also argue that typically humans are conflicts, like historical conflicts, like the historical city of Amakua, which is demonstrable, the first location where we can find traces of warfare around 5500 BC. But I don't want to concern you, but this case is also a field in which AI is uncannily unbeatable. In this case, an AI system running on a $30 Raspberry Pi beats an US Air Force trainer. Let's come to medicine. Also nowadays, a lot of medicine products like Audiring or MTech, which use which are used for diagnosing cancer or Parkinson. And also there are AI-driven systems which can give you a hint of psychological diseases by reading social media posts of the person. That's also quite interesting. As you can see, also in fields like philosophy, this isn't a safe harbor anymore. Here you can see Immanuel. It's an ethical decision machine, which was created by a colleague of mine here at the University of Freiburg. So let's come to a part of publishing. I guess it's one of the field of interests for you. Let me take a look at some examples of the publishing process, like writing a book. Writing a book is Springer published some years ago a first book which was written by non-human. It isn't the case that you can now fire all your authors if you work in a publishing house. That's not possible, but in such case, with a very highly specific topic, you can really use KI to generate content, as well as typesetting. Some other cases, you will find a lot of applications which are using AI technology, for example, to turn font faces, or like Textus, which is annotating your typewriting, or like the colleagues of 3W plus P, which have a nearly fully automated machine to typesetting books for several big publishing houses. And one last example is an example I was in person involved some month ago in a central meta database for book titles in Germany. It is called the Verzeichnis lieferbarer Bücher. They asked us for a very interesting project. Sure, this it doesn't look like on this picture at this company, but it's just an illustration. They ask us for the possibility to map books on different categories of target groups along their standard marketing model called Limbic Maps, and they asked to do it automatically. So our company and two other development companies developed several models which can automatize this using aspects like book cover, linguistic structure, topics, blurb text, and so on. And at the end, you can say, okay, this book is for someone who's maybe using it to read it while vacation. So I can continue with a bunch of more examples like automated meta tags, calculation models for numbers of copies, maybe support for content marketing or customer analysis, e-commerce or complaint management. Maybe you also have questions about our use case. So I would now hand over to Linda, where we will present you our use case of AI, and we are especially focused on predictive inferencing, data analysis, and language understanding and category learning. Our product is called Scriptbakery AI, and it's a management tool for manuscripts.
Hi guys, also from my side, thank you for having us. And without further ado, I'm going to start the presentation, the story part of the presentation. Let's give it a go. So my name is Linda. I'm 35 years old. I'm an author. I'm a columnist. I'm a copywriter, and apparently I'm the CCO at Scriptbakery. And I had to deal with 2 declined manuscripts. And speaking of manuscripts, I'd like to take you on a short literature journey. You all probably know this book, a very famous book of world literature. And the editor, Peter J. Bentley of Bentley & Son Publishing, asked the question before actually publishing it, does it have to be a whale? And then another one, which I really like, it's a quote from a random editor about George Orwell's Animal Farm. And he or she said, "It is impossible to sell animal stories in the USA." Very untrue conception of what actually turned out to be this book. And then I wanted to add this because I adore this slam a lot. Some editor gave feedback to Nabokov's Lolita, and he or she said, "It is overwhelmingly nauseating, even to an enlightened Freudian. I recommend that it be buried under a stone for 1,000 years." And then, of course, we asked the question, what led to the selection of world literature almost never being published, besides the fact that we're all humans? And we came to the following conclusion. It's, first of all, a mass of text reaches publishing companies on a daily basis, and all of them need to be handled and read, rated, and of course, used for further purposes. And then it's analog working, which is still a big thing in the publishing industry, also in Germany. And with that goes along a limited amount of data, a lot of writing of confirmation emails, a lot of storing of actual manuscripts, and a lot of forwarding to people you don't really know whom these manuscripts at the end of the day should belong to. And we actually discovered sort of that manuscript handling hasn't changed in around 100 years apart from the introduction of email. So this is why we've collected these 4 major reasons for inefficient and quite dramatic misvaluations of manuscripts. So the third one being individual rating by humans, and with that goes along a lot of intuition, just and very few metrics. And then lost resources, which means that content is lost, money is lost, and potentials are lost. Or let's put it this way and talk numbers. 200 scripts per month reach a medium-sized publishing company on average. 210 hours per month are bound just to receiving the manuscript. And 4,500 euros per month are lost due to inefficient script handling. And around 1,300 hours per month are needed to manage, to read, and to rate all manuscripts. And let's put it this way as well. 98% of all unrequested manuscripts are being declined unread. That is a pretty high number, and we spoke to a lot of authors, including me. We spoke to me, and it's a very frustrating experience, and actually a very unfortunate fact. So we were thinking what actually needs to be done in maybe actually rewriting the story for both the authors and, at the end of the day, also the editors. So we want to change the way authors feel and manuscripts are being handled. And at the end of the day, we want authors to feel better and that manuscripts are being handled much easier. And we are able to do that because Scriptbakery was developed due to our own experiences as publishers. And this is why we are very confident in being able to do so, because we know what we're talking about. And we are our own target group. And we are convinced that digitizing the manuscript handling process and adding artificial intelligence to analyze metadata will improve the entire experiences for basically every target group. But another thing that we really want to talk about, because I think the development and the story behind Scriptbakery is also a story of very contemporary issues, and I'm coming to this part now, because we believe, as I just said before, that there is more to Scriptbakery than just process and data, and there's a very important topic that is dear to us. There's diversity, and we think that in the year 2020 there is actually no way around diversity. Also in the publishing industry, and fairness on all gender levels. And we believe that the crossroad between black and white and man or woman is becoming one straight road into inclusion. And we truly believe that the digitization of the entire process and the publishing industry can actually contribute to this. And Scriptbakery and our artificial intelligence will actually benefit into making more voices heard, and to discover hidden authors and to avoid gender gaps and the discrimination of minorities. We truly believe that maybe within the next few years, this will maybe not be a big issue anymore. And of course, there's climate. And as we all know, book business is paper business. And that's a heritage we won't even touch. Nevertheless, each of us each of us has a partial responsibility to stop climate change and to protect our planet. And we believe that digitalization plays a major role in this. And by implementing Scriptbakery, publishers get the opportunity to save several tons of CO2 every year by simply printing fewer manuscripts. Because my experiences in the publishing industry and then my colleagues can just agree to that, is that sometimes manuscripts from the time it reaches a publishing company to the point where it's actually turned into a book or just thrown away if it's being declined, sometimes it's being printed more than 10 times, which is a lot of paper. And we believe that if we take small steps towards improving our environment, we will achieve actually great results. So this is what we truly believe in. So to wrap this up, we have Scriptbakery as partially improving the whole rating handling process by turning it from kind of manual analog to digital, and the artificial intelligence by giving great results within only just a few seconds, can actually manage to bring more diversity into this whole field. And this is only possible because there's us, and we are a very diverse team. We are publishers and developers. We are actually dreamers and make it happen people, which I think is I think an attitude that you really need in what we do, because there's not a lot of us currently, because the publishing branch is still a branch that is very hesitant when it comes to digitization and to artificial intelligence. And this is why I think we really need this dreamer attitude. And a lot of us write and we manage, and we are Generation Z people and millennials in one diverse team. And we just simply love and to tell and hear stories. But most of all, I think we would really like to shape the future of the book world. And we believe it can be digital, but also very human. So this is, I think, what we really, really want for the future, and maybe not just in Germany, but also in Poland. So thank you for listening to our story. I really loved presenting our Scriptbakery story to you, and I wish you a wonderful day.
So you can see there are a lot of fields you can make fertile by AI. So maybe one of your questions is how to cook your own AI-driven use case in publishing industry. There are 4 aspects you should keep in mind. First of all, don't use AI segmentally, but along the whole value chain. Keep in mind that business model in the field are working very different to classical models. Traditional business economy is a regulation of shortage, but post-industrial business economy is organizing the overflow. Second one, don't expect too much. Like an AI which manage all your business. That will not be the case. AI is a one-trick pony. So think about repetitious tasks which are maybe highly specialized. Not in every case it is economically to automate the process. Likewise, you have only 5 entries in your data set. So why implementing something for only a handful of users? Also think about models to use like supervised or unsupervised training. Also don't generate even more data by your application. It doesn't really make sense if you need another artificial intelligence to interpret the data of your first artificial intelligence. Also ask data scientists for the technical stuff, how to implement, which interfaces are needed, and how your data sets maybe should be prepared. The third point, look at the good practice processes you have. Like a digital pioneer told me, if you have a bad process and you digitalize it, you have a bad digital process. Also know the frontiers of artificial intelligence. Sometimes you don't have enough data points, or you just it is just not possible what you want to have. One of these borders runs also directly through the creative industry, and really be aware of this. Especially aspects like novelty or innovation will not be achieved only by looking on what has already been there. And even if there are some companies that claims that they are able to predict things like a bestseller, these things are not really feasible in a serious way. And last but not least, don't be afraid on artificial intelligence. Of course, AI often concern people, for example, in respect to automation of jobs. Take such concerns really seriously. Conduct open-ended discussions. Feel free to consult ethicists and experts for technology assessment and ask them for their opinion. So, to sum up, what do I need? You need a specific task. You need some data matching to your task. You need software architecture like interfaces, connections, services, and stuff. And you need a bit of courage. And I guess these are the 4 ingredients for a good recipe of using AI. So if you have courage, feel free to ask questions, and really thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Tony and Linda, for this presentation. Drodzy Państwo, ja będę teraz mówił i po polsku, i po angielsku. Będę tłumaczył Państwa pytania na angielski, żeby Tony i Linda mogli odpowiedzieć. Będę też tłumaczył odpowiedzi na polski. I have this impression after your presentation that it really takes some courage. Linda has been talking about vision and mission. It may seem quite challenging for many people, as I can see. Tony has been talking about the different ways some problems can be solved, problems that has been solved for hundreds of years by publishing industry in a certain way. Now you suggest different solution. So my question is it rather a technical challenge, or maybe some kind of emotional or psychological one? Let me just translate it. W tym, co słyszałem od Lindy w tej jej części prezentacji, w tych wizjach, które prezentowała, pojawia się sporo wyzwań, znaczy sporo takich kwestii, które mogą być wyzwaniem dla wielu osób, rzeczy, które mielibyśmy teraz rozwiązywać zupełnie inaczej niż przez setki lat, na przykład trwania branży wydawniczej. Tony też prezentował technologiczne rozwiązania, które w zasadzie adresują problemy, które od setek lat są przez branżę wydawniczą rozwiązywane już na określone sposoby. No i pojawia się takie pytanie, czy korzystanie ze sztucznej inteligencji w branży wydawniczej to jest w ogóle jakiekolwiek wyzwanie technologiczne albo biznesowe, czy może po prostu emocjonalne, psychologiczne i kulturowe? I to jest właśnie moje pytanie do Toniego i do Lindy. Which of you would like to answer first?
Well,
Maybe I can. Linda will add. I guess it's both of it. On one side, it's a lot of technical questions like what to do and how to do it. And on the other side, a lot of compliance work stuff, especially to publishers to say, okay, that's not a thing that will destroy your business or which make it like you are AI publisher, AI lector or something like that.
Okay, let me just translate it. Toni właśnie powiedział, że w zasadzie to jest po trochu jednego i drugiego, prawda? Że trochę to jest wyzwanie techniczno-biznesowe, trochę właśnie psychologiczne i kulturowe, że widać jak może wyglądać, jak z punktu widzenia wydawcy korzystanie ze sztucznej inteligencji może być problematyczne i jak może mocno zmieniać realia biznesu i w ogóle funkcjonowania ludzi w tej branży. You may continue, Tony, or
before I start, I tried to learn a sentence in Polish to introduce myself, and I practiced it for 20 minutes, but your language is impossible. So I asked a Polish friend of mine, and I just want to play it, okay? Because it's really important.
Linda.
Wait, just one second.
Bardzo się cieszę, że mogę tu dziś być i czekam z niecierpliwością na Wasze pytania dotyczące idei i historii Scriptbakery.
Yeah, so that is, I really tried, but I couldn't. Okay. To your question.
Linda właśnie powiedziała, że przez 20 minut próbowała przygotować się do wypowiedzenia tego zdania, które słyszeliście po polsku, ale nasz język jest dla niej absolutnie niemożliwy i dlatego poprosiła znajomą, żeby nagrała jej tą wypowiedź po polsku i to właśnie słyszeliśmy przed chwilą.
Yeah, so thank you for having me here now in the Q&A. I have to say the difference between Tony and me is huge, and I always call us the pinky and the brain, as you might know. The famous comic from back in the 90s, because
Bardzo się różnimy z Tonim, czasami porównuje nas do pary komików z dawnych czasów. Jesteśmy od siebie bardzo różni.
Okay, I perceive this challenge from my perspective as the perspective of actually selling Scriptbakery story as a very human perspective.
Z mojego punktu widzenia to wyzwanie, o które pytałem, jest przede wszystkim kwestią prezentowania Scriptbakery i tej idei, która stoi za marką, z takiego bardzo humanistycznego, ludzkiego punktu widzenia.
Yeah, because we're dealing with a target group that is in most cases very reluctant when it comes to digitization within the book branch.
Mamy do czynienia ze społecznością, z ludźmi w branży wydawniczej, którzy są dosyć tradycyjnie podchodzą do swojej pracy i również do kwestii ewentualnej digitalizacji procesów biznesowych.
And within the sales process, we are seeing that we actually need to customize our approach and the communication around the USPs of the product almost very individually.
Widzimy, że w kontakcie z naszymi potencjalnymi klientami potrzeba jest personalizowania czy takiego dopasowywania tej propozycji bardzo, bardzo specyficznie do osoby, z którą rozmawiamy.
And we see that the main difference within the sales process is visible in publishers that focus mainly on fiction and prose and publishing companies that focus on
Non-fiction, maybe. Maybe non-fiction, yes?
Yes, and yeah, and technical and what's the word for this in English? I totally forgot.
Literature, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
Widzimy dużą różnicę w tym, jak na naszą propozycję digitalizowania czy wykorzystania sztucznej inteligencji w procesach wydawniczych patrzą różne wydawnictwa. Na przykład w zależności od tego, czy zajmują się fikcją, czy wydają fikcję, czy wydają no, na przykład naukowe tytuły, czy jakieś książki non-fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would even say, or I would even go this far as to say that in order to sell this product, which is a very new product on the market, you need to be a mixture between a salesperson and a psychiatrist, because you really need to feel what the specific person's needs are.
Okej, czyli prezentując taką ofertę wydawcom, ofertę Scriptbakery, trzeba być trochę sprzedawcą, a trochę psychologiem, po to, żeby bardzo dobrze zrozumieć i wyczuć tą potrzebę konkretnej osoby, z którą rozmawiamy. Okay, so would you like to widen it or follow up with this answer, or skip to another question?
Yeah, I think we should, or no. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So mamy kolejne pytania. So if you wanted to make it like precise, let's say, would you say after the time you have spent with publishers or the work that you have done for certain publishing houses, do they prefer, or like statistically or something, do they prefer to choose manuscripts, for example, by themselves based on Hinge and everything traditionally, or do they prefer to use data and artificial intelligence? If there is any reason why some people choose this and some people choose that, can you see any criteria differentiating those two? To pytanie, które zadałem, dotyczy tego, czy bazując na tych kontaktach z wydawcami, które Linda i Toni mają, i z tymi domami wydawniczymi, dla których wdrażali swoje rozwiązanie, czy dostrzegają jakiś sposób, czy powód, dla którego niektórzy wybierają tradycyjny sposób prowadzenia biznesu wydawniczego, czyli na przykład wybierania, dajmy na to, manuskryptów do wydania, a inni decydują się na skorzystanie ze sztucznej inteligencji. Jeśli istnieje takie kryterium, taki powód, dla których jedni wybierają to, inni tamto, to jakie to są powody? Co jest takim decydującym elementem? Okay. Linda?
I think that's more of a question for Tony, no?
Okay. Great. Tony?
I guess we talked to about 40 or 50 publishing houses in Germany, and it's very, very different. Some of the houses say, artificial intelligence, that's great, we take it, and it's nice because it's artificial intelligence, and we also have this problem with too many manuscripts, and that will solve the problem.
No niektóre domy wydawnicze, z którymi się spotykamy, a spotkaliśmy się już z ponad 50, jak tylko słyszą sztuczna inteligencja, mówią super, bierzemy to, po prostu bierzemy to, bo to jest sztuczna inteligencja i ona nam pomoże ogarnąć na przykład kłopot z nadmiarem manuskriptów, które do nas trafiają.
On the other hand, we have a lot of publishing houses who say we have a great workflow, it is fine, and sometimes it's really a great workflow, sometimes it's like, I know a practicant or somebody like that is reading the manuscripts and say yes or no, or even they don't even read any manuscript, or they only take their fixed authors they know because they have made some books with them, and new authors don't really have a chance. That's the other maybe darker side of publishing houses.
Okay. Linda, would you like to add something to this or sum up?
Well, no, yeah, just one small thing. I think the main perspective on this is that I think a lot of publishers tend to stick to their old process because they are not even aware of the fact that they need help.
Okay. Toni opowiedział o tym, że są też takie wydawnictwa, które niechętnie właśnie korzystają ze sztucznej inteligencji, mają bardzo wiele obaw, nie potrafią sobie wyobrazić siebie z wykorzystaniem swojego funkcjonowania, z wykorzystaniem tych rozwiązań. Nida też dostrzega, że są i takie firmy, czy takie zespoły lub menadżerowie, którzy po prostu nie są świadomi tego, że pewne problemy w ogóle da się rozwiązać przy pomocy automatyzacji, czy właśnie sztucznej inteligencji, czy jakichkolwiek rozwiązań cyfrowych. Także to po prostu bardzo zależy od stanu przekonań i świadomości poszczególnych osób. Are there any people, any actual, I don't know, managers or brands that you can mention who did try and now they are happy with the results? And maybe we don't have much time, so just quick information: who is happy with what result delivered by artificial intelligence, if it's even possible? Okay? Zapytałem, czy mogą podać nam takie przykłady osób, które jednak podjęły to ryzyko, zdecydowały się, osób lub firm, które podjęły to ryzyko, zdecydowały się skorzystać ze sztucznej inteligencji i teraz są zadowolone. I czy mogą nam powiedzieć, z czego konkretnie są zadowolone, z jakich rezultatów? Am I guessing well that it's for Toni? Okay.
Yeah.
Me and the brain. Let the brain come now.
We have our pilot customer Herder. It's the Herder Publishing House or something like that in Freiburg, right here. We developed the software with them, and also smaller publishing houses like Kreuz or like Karl Alber Publishing House. And at the moment we are in contact with several other houses to implement the software, but as you know, it's a long process to get something like this implemented in a publishing house.
Tak, no współpracujemy z wydawnictwem we Freiburgu i z innym wydawnictwem, dla których budujemy rozwiązanie technologiczne. W zasadzie programujemy to programowanie to jest wspólna praca nasza i naszego partnera i to nie jest krótki proces, to trwa, zanim pojawią się rezultaty. Thank you for this information. I would like to invite also our participants to keep asking questions if they have some more. To keep asking questions in the comments on Facebook or YouTube. I will send you the links, and if you, Toni and Linda, and if you like to answer some of them by texting, you are very welcome. Also, thank you, Toni, for answering one of the questions with text. I have just posted it. Dziękuję bardzo Toniemu i Lindzie za to, że się z nami dzisiaj spotkali i odpowiadali na te wszystkie pytania. Zaprosiłem ich, zachęciłem do tego, żeby odpowiadali na Państwa pytania również tekstem w komentarzach pod playerem na YouTubie i na Facebooku, także jeśli mają Państwo więcej pytań, to gorąco zapraszam do ich zadawania. Już na jedno tutaj pytanie w imieniu Toniego opublikowałem odpowiedź, którą Toni przygotował i przetłumaczył pewnie za pomocą sztucznej inteligencji dla Państwa. Gorąco zapraszam do kontaktu w razie kolejnych pytań. Serdeczne dzięki i Państwu, wszystkim uczestnikom naszego spotkania za udział, i Toniemu, i Lindzie. Dziękuję w imieniu firmy Literacka Technologia, która zorganizowała to konkretne spotkanie, a także w imieniu wszystkich organizatorów Book Targu, czyli firmy Legimi, Allegro i Lubimy Czytać. Do zobaczenia na kolejnych prelekcjach. Już za chwilę zaczynamy, właściwie o 12, czyli za minutę zaczynamy kolejną prelekcję. Tym razem spotkanie z wydawcami, którzy będą dzielili się swoimi obserwacjami i pomysłami na to, jak optymalizować proces wydawniczy i jak robić to również z pomocą sztucznej inteligencji, a także na inne różne sposoby. Także gorąco zapraszam, widzimy się już za chwilę. Thank you once again, Linda and Toni. I hope to see you soon. Wish you all the best and good luck with
And
your
maybe one day Scriptbakery will also be available. I hope Tony is not killing me now in Polish.
in Polish. Wow, why not?
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Okay.
I didn't say a specific timing.
Tony, I keep finger
Alright.
crossed for your Polish and for your AI Polish.
It's super easy, as we just heard.
Yeah, as you have heard. Thank you very much. See you
Okay,
soon.
thank you
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.